game, which I knew you were expecting. It looked like it meant a lot there for you at the end. We saw Haaland defending deep to get your team over the line. A big result today.
Massive. It's an incredible team. Newcastle is an incredible, but awesome team. Physicality and the speed that they have in front with Gordon Elanga and after Barnes and all of them. So physicality in the middle. So yeah, really tough, but the team was unbelievable.
You're now 8 unbeaten. You seem to have an ability to get your team winning when it matters most. What's that down to?
No, it's not true. We won today. We draw against the Spurs not far away, so step at a time.
You're as familiar as anyone about these and the talk that will come. It's now 2 points to Arsenal. They need to come here. Do you feel as equipped as ever with the group that you've got to face that battle and go into a good title race?
70% of the players never play in that situation, and I don't play. So we have to live it, and we know that every game until the end of the season will be like this. And especially at home, with the 5 games left at home, today we had the best crowd of the year. It was unbelievable, our people. And I'm really, really proud to be manager of these incredible people, fans, and so on. And we'll be now is rest 3 days that we need it and proper leads.
So 70% of the players haven't been involved in this experience. Are you having to work in a different way as manager to create success and get a team performing how you like?
Game plan, the mentality, what you have to do. So if you don't outplay this type of... Today the modern football is like that. So it's a man marking so aggressive, the pace they have, and all of them, and they have injuries. So it's a really tough opponent. So in Champions League, 0-5 in the halftime. So 3 days ago, the physicality, the pace, the rhythm that they have always since Saudi Arabia took over the club and Eddie Howe was there, the way they play is unbelievable, so difficult. So that's why I'm really pleased for the way we have today.
Pep Guardiola already looking forward to what's to come, and their next challenge is Leeds. They can rest a few days. Arsenal still have to face Tottenham. That comes tomorrow. It's a huge one for them. Macca, then Chelsea to come as well. Just looking at those fixtures to come in the title race, who has it tougher? Are they all tough?
Well, if you look at those particular games that we can see, when you look at Manchester City, Leeds, Nottingham Forest, the FA Cup, West Ham and then Arsenal, you'd certainly, and you've got, of course, you'd certainly think it was Manchester. And there's a couple of FA Cup and League games in there, as EFL Cup game as well. You'd certainly think when you look at those games, Tottenham and Chelsea for Arsenal are more difficult than the 4th that Manchester City would have. But of course, there's 11 games left, and as Al said, they're going to drop points. Both of them will drop points because they're not as dominating as they once were in the past, Manchester City. And either at Arsenal, the competition's closer, so it won't just be when they meet at the Etihad in April, they'll drop more points than that, the pair of them.
Well, there is big pressure certainly on Arsenal tomorrow because City have done the job. They play their bitter rivals, and, you know, it could still be 2 points come the end of tomorrow.
Yeah, it's we're going to be seeing this so much in between now and the end of the season. Well, City have done their job, or Arsenal have done their job. It's now over to Manchester City. I've been in this position myself. I know it's more difficult for Arsenal because they have to win it, and because of they were there. So yeah, pressure on them tomorrow.
Yeah, it was a tough game for them tonight, Jolie, and they had to suffer in that second half to get this one over the line. Yeah, definitely showed a lot of character in the second half performance. Probably could have gone ahead by a bigger margin in the first half. But it wasn't to be, and like we spoke about before, like it's always exciting when Newcastle are involved. They make it exciting, and again, fully deserved to get back into the game. But the course of the second half, when the game's getting stretched, you're thinking City are going to capitalise on the space. That wasn't to be, and you end up with a nervy 5-10 minutes at the end. And if you're an Arsenal player right now with a big North London derby tomorrow, what's going through your mind, do you think, Joe?
I've been in that situation where you got a big game the next day, and you know you need to win anyway, but you're all watching it and you're in the hotel, and it's a bit deflating because, you know, they would have been thinking Newcastle with the last 10 minutes could have got something. So you got to get yourself to bed, get up tomorrow, and it's great. I love it. It's a proper title race because we thought for months ago, and me included, thought this is going to be Arsenal's all the way, and it'll be finished in maybe April, and you know But this is right, and this is the first time I've looked at Manchester City now and looked at them and looked at the spine of the team. Donnarumma, Mark Guehi, Haaland, Rodri, Semenyo. No, but they look like men. Do you know what I mean? They look like they're right up for and this place was lively tonight. You can't see them dropping too many points. So Arsenal are going to have to be brilliant from now to the end of the season.
And Haaland not on the score sheet this evening. Both the goals from.
OK, let's start with that man you can see there, Nico O'Reilly, who is fast becoming, you would have thought, one of the first names on the City team sheet, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so, because of his versatility, his energy. Just 20 years of age, what he's doing is just remarkable. And I love watching him play, not only that because of his football intelligence. When someone's played left-back for the season, and now he's almost playing in that number 10 role, but you see here, he's the furthest man forward. And when you're in these positions here, and Mamouche was excellent today as well, you've got to make these driving runs here because these are the rewards that you get. Not only that, his football intelligence. We talk about pocket of space. This is absolutely brilliant. As a defender there, I don't know whether to go, to step, and then you've got Mamouche pushing you one way and Haaland. And Wayne, you've been in that position so many times. What's it like as a forward?
I think for someone so young as he is, only 20 years of age, to play that position, and he hasn't done it irregular this season, to stand still is sometimes the hardest thing to do in football. And he's patient, he's waiting, he's stalking. He sees Erling Haaland make a great run. And then now he gets in the box, he gets to the back post, targets Kieran Trippier, and it's a fantastic ball and a great header. And
it carried on. Again, I thought Haaland was outstanding and Wayne's going to have a little look at, but it was his willingness to run. And it's not only that, it's the timing of the runs as well. I mentioned Mamouche with his running in behind, and he could have had a hat-trick in the first half. A good little ball across, and he just can't get the right connection. And to see someone coming through the academy, getting this opportunity and taking it, you know, he's an England international now who can play midfield and left back, so that versatility is going to be good for the country as well. This time he's playing to Haaland, and I just thought his all-round game today was excellent. Foden normally plays in these positions. Can you receive the ball on the half turn? Yes. And then can you make that forward run to open up space for other players to get on the ball? And I just thought it was a perfect performance for a player who's so young, who's having to adapt from left-back and now playing in the number 10.
Do you both give credit to the academy there and how they brought him through? That he has, I mean, you obviously give credit to the player himself, but that versatility, how he's been schooled.
Yeah, I think you give it to the academy, but also to Pep as well, because I think Pep's obviously seen something in him. I think he played midfield in the academy. Yeah. He's moved him to left-back now. He's put him into a number 10 position. So Pep's seen him every day in training, and he's realised that he can actually play all over the pitch. But the academy have obviously got him to that level.
I mean, you played as a 10. Could you have played left-back?
Probably.
Let me try this. You played full-back. Could you have played 10?
Definitely not.
Erling Haaland today looked like a complete centre-forward, didn't he?
I thought he was excellent. I thought he was all over the pitch. He had a great battle with Dan Burn. He didn't get his goal, but we spoke about this a few weeks ago. He's adapting his game slightly, and he's becoming more of a all-round centre-forward rather than just a goal scorer. And you see here with Dan Burn, the start of the battle, really, Dan Burn gets an early yellow card. But again, he had this little pocket of space. It's a fantastic run with his weak foot. Great cross into the penalty area, and obviously O'Reilly gets a great header. But Newcastle were brave as well, leaving Dan Burn 1v1 against Erling Haaland. But again, he shows his strength. Great centre-forward play. Holds Dan Burn off, brings the ball down. And nice little layoff, gets City on the attack again. Now we see him here, coming into the number 10 position, picking the ball up. Good feet work, driving at players, and then unlucky with his weak foot. And then here, this is a clever little run. You see him on the back of the defender. He just gets himself back on side, makes a great run. And now this is where you don't want to see Erling Haaland if you're a defender. He gets the ball, he's driving at you. Yet Newcastle do well, get defenders back, but he comes out of there, lays the ball off, and he's becoming more of a creator rather than just that player who scores goals. And then defensively, when you need him, back in his own box, strong, powerful, great header out to the penalty area. Here, he actually stayed in the back line for a long time at times. But here, again, cover, not letting the Newcastle players get through. Really unlucky. This is where you want to see him. On the shoulder, it's a good save. Unlucky not to get his goal, which is all-round performance deserved. And then last minute, last kick of the game, ball comes into the penalty area. He's there. great header out, but his performance, I thought, was outstanding today. And you see his heat map.
That's a
map
real
here.
contrast to what we've seen at times during this City career.
Normally with Erling Haaland, you see his heat map and it'd be central, just around the penalty area. But here you see he's everywhere, and he's favoured that right-hand side. So I think he's finding new things in his game, which I think that's a scary thought.
Well, it's also a scary thought because he has so many other people that can then play off him.
Yeah, exactly that. I think he became a little bit predictable, Haaland. So when I was watching his game as a defender, I'm thinking, I know where he wants to run. When the ball's on one side, he's always going to go to the back post. But what Wayne showed there, he's got variety in his game now, and that's difficult because a man who can score that many goals and now introducing the other side of his game, he's going to be unstoppable.
You've both been in title races. So what do you read into the reactions at the end tonight?
I think you just know you're in with a fight now. There's always defining moments in the season. And I think Man City's was against Liverpool away when they come back after that Szoboszlai free kick. And then it just gives you that little bit of impetus, that momentum to say, we're in this. And now, obviously, the North London derby is tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen there. But as long as, I always said, as long as Man City can stay within 2 or 3 points in that game in April, at home at the Etihad, then they're in with a chance. And that's all you can expect at this part of the season.
That's mind games as well from Pep, without actually saying anything. That's Pep showing Arsenal they're up for this fight and they're ready to take this fight on with Arsenal, and Arsenal will be sitting there because that was a tough game today against Newcastle, but it's a fantastic win.
The other thing as well is since the turn of the year, when there've been a full round of Premier League fixtures, if Arsenal have had to go after Manchester City, they haven't won yet. So it cranked. I know they played midweek, but that was a standalone game for Arsenal. So that cranks it up even more, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And obviously, having the derby game against Tottenham, it's never an easy game. Tottenham with a new manager in. So, yeah, they're going to be looking at thinking, City are coming. They know it's in City's hands. And so Arsenal, the pressure's back on Arsenal tomorrow at North London derby. So, yeah, let's see what they've got.
Right.
Nico, I think the celebrations told a story. That feels like a really, really big win.
Yeah, very big win. We needed the win. Yeah, it's our aim every game now. Just 3 points. And so, yeah, buzzing with today.
3 points, very nearly 3 goals for yourself. Tell us about both of them that you scored today.
Yeah, the first one was a bit of a counter-attack. I seen Omar running with the ball and I ran the other way and he slid me in and then I put my foot through it. The second one, Erling put a great cross in off his right and yeah, I just did the rest.
This was a huge moment for Manchester City and one that they took with both hands.
Yeah, it felt more than 3 points, didn't it? The way they celebrated, you knew how important it was for them. There's still 11 games left in the Premier League, but this felt like a massive moment for them. Watching Arsenal drop points to Wolves midweek and the way they dropped it, it was vitally important that they got 3 points today. Didn't matter about playing great, winning by lots more goals than they did. It was just about 3 points, shifting all the pressure onto the North London derby tomorrow and seeing how Arsenal respond. Of course, Tottenham have got a new manager, see how they play in the first game under his tutelage. But big, it felt like a big moment this afternoon.
Yeah, big chance for City, and they were relentless kind of in the opening stages and got the opening goal. Big day for Nico O'Reilly as well.
Yeah, it was a big day for him. Two really good goals, and he was the difference for Manchester City. But they win the ball there, the first one, they win the second one there, and then they win they come together in the knockdown. And then it's a really clever run from O'Reilly, but it's an even better finish. He'll be delighted with that, but Newcastle won't be with the defending, as we heard from Eddie Howe in those little moments. But the way he gets himself into the position and the way he finishes it off, he was the difference for Manchester City tonight. There's no doubt about it. It's a great strike. I think Pope could and should do better, but he did his job and getting the 3 points.
That's all you can do as Nico O'Reilly did. He made a good run, and the only thing that you could be super critical about is Malik Thiaw didn't follow him quick enough, didn't get close when he wanted to take the shot on, and then I think because of Malik Thiaw's body position, Nick Pope followed his position off the defender. And he looked a little tiny bit flat-footed to get across. So fine margins have decided this game today, and they decided it in in the way of Manchester City.
Yeah, especially in that first half. And, you know, it was pretty breathtaking. I mean, when you consider how close the goals came, it was end-to-end action. Look at the goal that made it 1-1.
Yeah, it was a brilliant first half. It was really, really open, more open perhaps than I thought it was going to be. But Lewis Hall finds himself in that position. That's what he's there for, in case the ball just happens to fall to him there, and it did, and he gets his strike away. But a little bit of luck with the deflection off Aït-Nouri, and Donnarumma's got absolutely no chance. And they get themselves back into the game to Newcastle, and that would be the disappointing thing, is that they concede a silly goal so soon after that, which they go in at half-time 2-1 down.
Yeah, lots of bodies in the box,
Yeah.
and then the deflection as well. Let's look at the goal that does make it 2-1, and that ultimately gives Manchester City all 3 points. Erling Haaland turning provider.
Yeah, I look at Newcastle, they're in a great position, everybody behind the ball, but Semenyo goes past Voltemada too easy. And the gap between, we've said it early on, the gap between Kieran Trippier and Malik Thiaw is too big. The danger is Nico O'Reilly. Kieran Trippier is just flat-footed. You see, he takes little steps to try and close him down. And Nico O'Reilly has just got his eye on the ball and he is attacking it. And it was a lovely goal. But again, if you're Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall, you know where the failings were. That it's easy to analyse that goal. He should have pushed in a yard, and that would have been it. He would have blocked it. He would have stopped the run. And those little moments, you just wonder whether their travel arrangements midweek, the fact that they've had to travel back, it's just a question of slipping off, shutting down for 1 second. And I think that's what's cost them today. But I thought Newcastle were excellent. They deserve a huge amount of credit the way they performed today. They just couldn't or didn't do enough.
Yeah, and as Eddie Howe said, lacked that little bit of cutting edge. Manchester City managing the game, seeing it out, earning all 3 points. That puts the gap at the top to just 2 points on Arsenal. And look at the scenes at the end. Have you seen this from Pep? I think maybe at Anfield, you know, when they scored those goals late on. But this was Pep really enjoying the moment.
Yeah, you don't often see that, particularly at home. I mean, more often than not, they've beaten Newcastle at home, 17 on the spin at the Etihad. But I think such was the size of the game, such was what happened in midweek to Arsenal, and then what may happen tomorrow with Arsenal. That was a huge statement from Manchester City. Now, you could tell the relief from everyone inside the stadium, both players, management and the fans. It was a huge relief because they were under a lot of pressure from Newcastle, but they just had to get those 3 points, and they have.
And now we have a 2-point gap at the top, the smallest it's been since the 29th of December. It's game on.
It is, and it's going to be for the neutral. It's brilliant, isn't it? You know, not one team is 9 points clear like Arsenal, where it's now they've dragged each other back. They have to play each other at the Etihad in April, but before then, it'll toss and turn. Look at the goal differences, nigh on the same. So actually, it's just the sake of you have to go out, you have to do your job, and the pressure should flip-flop now between each team. Who can handle it? Who's got the biggest squads? Because Manchester City, a lot of their players have been there and done it virtually every single year for the last 5 or 6 years. So they can handle the pressure. Can Arsenal? That's the only question everybody around the country is saying, isn't it? Arsenal couldn't handle it last year, the year before. Can they handle it this year? And we'll find out very soon.
Well, that's going to be the big difference between the two, isn't it? Because, you know, they've got 11 games left to play, 12 for Arsenal with the North London derby, and then they play each other. Many people saying Arsenal, it's theirs to lose because they did have that gap. Is that still the case, or do you fancy City more now?
I would still probably just say Arsenal, but there's not going to be a lot between them. I think what we can guarantee is that each and every Saturday we say, right, we've done our job the game before, now it's over to you. But, and I also say that not every team, or not both teams are going to win all of their games. So that it is going to be backwards and forwards, right? The pressure's on you, and it will flip-flop. I've been in that position myself, and I know the pressure that Arsenal are under because of the circumstances and how they finished second on too many occasions for their liking. Man City have been there. They know what it's about. They've got so many players, and the management have been there, and they understand what it takes to get over the line. But I still feel Arsenal might just have a slight advantage. Just.
Yeah, that last fixture on the graphic we just showed is the League Cup final between the two. For many people, on the 22nd of March, that's the kicker. That could help decide, even though it's not a league game, it could help decide the league. Is that your feeling?
No, I think the next 3 games are the ones, because if you look at paper, of course, Tottenham, Chelsea, I think Arsenal have Brighton. On paper, Manchester City's games are a lot easier, and Manchester City's games come before Arsenal. So if Arsenal slip up once, then City could go top of the league. And I think that's when it'll start to get interesting. As soon as City go first and Arsenal start playing catch-up with the game at the Etihad to come in April, that's when people will start thinking about whether it goes back and forth. I think the League Cup final is a bonus, really. Whoever wins that, fine. I don't think it'll have any bearing on the league, on somebody winning the league.
Al, you mentioned that you've been in the situation before, the one that the Arsenal players find themselves in. Just how tough is it to be in that dressing room? How tough is it to be in the dressing room where you are leading? Which one would you rather be in?
I would much prefer to be leading, yeah, but having said that, when you are leading and you drop points, the whole of the country's then saying, well, are they going to bottle it? Is the pressure being too much for them? Yeah, it's probably easier chasing than it is being chased, and that's what Arsenal have to deal with. They somehow, and even Man City, you look at the relief tonight, look at how they all reacted at the end of the game. Even Man City realised the enormity of that result this evening against Newcastle. But that's what it's going to boil down to, the mentality of both teams. What Man City will feel is a lot of their players, and particularly their staff, have been there before, they've done it and know what to expect. Whereas Arsenal are under more pressure than anyone has ever been because of the situation that they were. There were so many points clear. They've become second in so many occasions. They've spent an absolute fortune. He's now got the squad that he wants. He brought the players in that he wanted, Mikel Arteta. So, and with what they had 3 weeks ago, it could have been 9. It's now back down to 2. And then that tells you that the pressure is right on them tomorrow.
Which dressing room are you going to, leaders or chasers?
At this moment,
yeah,
I'd be in the chasers because you've got them at home. You know where you're going to, what you have to do at your own grounds, and that atmosphere will be rocking. You know what you have to do. And as Al rightly said, you've got players who haven't won anything, like Mark Gay, when he spoke eloquently after the game. But you've also got 8 and 9 players who have won it 4 or 5 times, and you've got Pep, who's won it as many times as possible. So I'd rather be the chasers at the moment.
You mentioned Mark Gahey. We obviously caught up with him after the game on Premier League Live, and he said something that stands out to me and that I actually find hard to believe. He's not watching the Arsenal games. How difficult is that actually to do in this day and age, and to stay away from social media?
There's too much football on. You can't watch every game, can you?
He might not be watching, but he won't be able to get away from it, particularly with social media, the way that is nowadays. But I watched every single game. I watched the opponents, and I was praying for them to drop points. And then it's over to yourself to try and get the points. But what you can't take away is the pressure, and there's lots of it there.
I think Mark Gay was watching Newcastle against Karabakh because it was on at the same time. You know, he's studying his next opponent. That's how professional Mark Gay is.
Mark Gahey, whether he is watching or not, we will never know.
He was watching Newcastle Karabakh.